Good afternoon, teacher everyone, and welcome back to the physics class. Already in the previous session, I have completed the first chapter. Okay, first chapter almost completed. Nothing is left. Okay, now today I am just going to start the next chapter. That is the second chapter, motion in one dimension. Chapter second, motion in one dimension. Okay, then before starting this chapter, first thing I have to want to explain one dimension and two dimension. One dimension means if the body is moving only on one axis, maybe it will be a x-axis, maybe on y-axis, or maybe in z-axis. That means if the body is moving in only one direction, so that is, or only one axis, so we can say the body is in one dimension. If the body is moving on both axes, that means x-axis as well as y-axis, or y-axis along with the z-axis. Okay, that means if there are two axes are involved, so it is called motion in two dimension. One axis movement it is there and called motion in one dimension. And if more than one, more than two, then it will be three dimension. Okay, but in this one, in this class, in class 10, you will get motion in two dimension also. Okay, as well as in class 11th also you will get motion in two dimension. But right now you will study about the motion in one dimension. One dimension means maybe the body can move in the x-axis, or maybe the body can move in y-axis, or maybe the body can move only in z-axis. That means if there is a movement of any object, any particle, any body in one axis, okay, then it is said to be the body will be in one dimension. Clear to all? Okay, now come to the first topic. What do you mean by rest? Rest and motion. Both how can we define rest? If anybody does not change their position with respect to surrounding. Okay, if anybody does not change their position with respect to surrounding, means suppose if anybody is kept at any place. Okay, suppose I'm going to take this example of the duster. If it is kept here, okay, it is kept here, and if with respect to surrounding means if its position as it is in the very beginning, at the final state also it will be same position. That means the body will be in rest. Okay, why? Because there is no change in their position. Okay, so we can say what? If any object does not change, if any body does not change their position with respect to surrounding, then we can say the body is, it will be in rest. Okay, if any object does not change their position, if any object does not change their position with respect to surrounding, then we can say the body will be in rest. Just like I will give an example, if any object is kept at any place, okay, if any object is kept at any place and it is not going to change their position, okay, with respect to surrounding, suppose a duster is kept, or suppose you are just going to sit in a classroom. Suppose right now you are sitting at your own place. Right now you are just seeing you are taking the physics class and you are sitting at the same place. And after 15 minutes also, you are after 40 till 45 minutes you will sit over there. Till 45 minutes you will sit at your own place. That means no change, because in from your room, from your chair, you are not going to change your position. That's why you can say you will be in rest. Got it? Got this one? But how you can define motion? If any object changing their position with respect to surrounding. Okay, if any object is changing their position with respect to surrounding, then we can say the body will be in motion. Okay, if any object is changing their position with respect to surrounding, that means if any car, any train, any bus, it is in motion. Okay, if any object, any bus, any car, any train, suppose it is starting from one junction and moving on to the another junction. That means due to the movement of that particular body, or the body is changing their position with respect to surrounding, because once the bus or train or plane anywhere, you can see this one. Okay, if it is moving, then in this condition, it will be a lot of things is going to pass in the way. Train will be also gathered, trees also will be there, and if car is in motion, so multiple cars will be also there. That is crossing, some are overtaking also, and if you are also in running mode, so you can say this thing, the body will be in motion. So if any object changing their position with respect to surrounding, then we can say this thing, the body will be in motion. And if any object does not change their position with respect to surrounding, then we can say the body will be in rest. Okay, although both are, since both are relative terms, both are the opposite to each other. One thing, there will be no change in the position of the body, but one thing in the position of the body will be changed with respect to surrounding. One body will be in rest, second body is in motion, but both are opposite to each other. But even then, both will be related to each other, or we can say rest and motion, both are relative terms. Okay, both are relative terms. Rest and motion. Both are relative terms. How you can say rest and motion, both are the relative terms? Mayank, what is the question? What is the doubt?
Good morning, sir.
Morning or afternoon?
Afternoon, sir. Sir, according to the Earth rotation and revolution, nobody is in rest position. Sir, then why we are taking the rest?
Again, ask the question.
Sir, according to the Earth rotation and revolution, we are not in rest. Then why we are taking rest?
Because 20 years you are always rotates. Time is passing, na? Time is passing. Time is passing. If once the time will pass, you can check it. Okay, firstly in the morning time, then afternoon, then evening, then night. Time is passing. So as soon as the time will pass, so according to the time passes, Earth will also rotate. So that's why we are not changing their position. We are at the same place. But since the rotation of Earth, it is there, time is going to pass. So we can say this thing, we are also in the motion. That's why I'm going to explain that this thing, how it will be both in relative terms. Okay. Mayank.
Okay, thank you.
Write your name properly. Those who are taking the class, write their name as well as on their video. Paridhi, your video is not on. Those who are taking the class, they have to on their video. Paridhi, still your video is not on. Your face should be just in front of your mobile phone or camera. Okay, so that I have to see this one. Okay, everyone is taking the class properly and write your name properly. Just see the Paridhi. Right now he is not typing simply. He has what you are doing, Paridhi. Right now you are just on your video. Most of the students, they are not just video is not on. I am not writing their name. Any other name they have written. So write your name properly as well as class section properly. Whenever you are going to take the class, write properly your name, class, then after that take the class. Don't write any other name. Okay, properly write your name, class and section. Only this thing, nothing else. Okay, write this one. So how the rest and motion both are the relative terms we can define in this way. Is suppose you are sitting in a bus. You are sitting in a bus and the bus are in motion. The bus is changing the position. Okay, so you will be in rest. You will be in rest. Why? Because you are sitting inside the bus. Okay, so your position will be constant or your position will be in rest. But since the bus is changing the position with respect to surrounding, okay, since bus is changing their position with respect to surrounding, that means bus is in motion and you are sitting inside the bus. So if bus will be in motion, so you will also, you can say this one, you will be also in motion. But according to, listen, with respect to the bus surrounding, bus inside surrounding, you can say this thing, you will be in rest. But since you are sitting inside the bus and bus is in motion, and bus is changing their position with respect to surrounding, so we can say that means you will be also in motion. By this way, we can say both the rest and motion are relative terms, or both will be related to each other. Clear to all? Yes. Now, see the next topic. Why I am taking that? Because you have to, sometimes this question can also ask how both the things will be related to each other. Then come to the scalar and vector.
Sir, good morning, good afternoon, sir. Sir, as you told, sir, with respect to the surrounding inside the bus, that body is in state of rest. But with respect to surrounding outside the bus, it is in motion. Then, sir, with respect to the revolution of the earth, sun is in state of rest. So then then for which object or which thing in the space it will be in motion?
Which thing will be in motion? That means,
so it means with respect to revolution, with respect to earth, sun is not moving, it is in state of rest. Then sir, for which object sun will be in state of motion?
all the things that you can say with this thing, all the example I've given to you now, just think the buses and trains all are moving with respect to surrounding. That means, so as soon as it will be in motion, so it will cross each and everything. Listen, whenever it is going to cross whatever your surrounding means, listen, anything you can say. If suppose this is the duster, I'm giving example, this is the duster, this is point 1. Here you have mentioned point 1, point 2, point 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 you have mentioned. Okay, giving the example, here you are right now. At from 1 to 3 you are right now. Okay, from 1 to 3 you are right now in the very beginning. And if you are reaching here, that means you are reaching between 4, 5, 6. That means you are in motion. Okay, that means any object in this world, some exceptional cases can be everywhere to be there. But according to this concept, what if any object is changing their position with respect to its surrounding, if anywhere this thing is going to happen, then this concept will follow. That means that body will be in motion. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir. Then, sir, it means that sun doesn't follow this rule.
It will not follow this rule. It will not follow this rule. Okay. Now, some exceptional cases will be always there. Okay. Some exceptional cases will be always there. Now come to the next topic. Now come to the scalar and vector quantity. Scalar and vector quantity. Scalar quantity are that quantity in which only the magnitude is going to consider. Direction is not going to consider. This one only, this one only. Okay, any quantity in which only the magnitude it is going to consider, direction is not going to consider. Okay, that is called scalar quantity. And any quantity in which magnitude as well as direction both will be there, then that can be termed as vector quantity. Okay, so any quantity in which there is the only magnitude, no direction, is called scalar quantity. Any quantity in which magnitude and direction both can be considered, that is known as vector quantity. Just like an example, 5 meter moving in each direction, 5 meter moving in this direction. So magnitude means 5 meter. Okay, magnitude means 5 meter. Okay, so only this thing. And if suppose 5 meter moving in each direction, 5 meter moving in each direction, that means this will be vector quantity. Okay, so any object in which there is any quantity in which only the magnitude is considered, direction is not going to consider, that is known as scalar quantity. And any quantity in which magnitude and direction both are going to consider, that is called vector quantity. Just like in the example, suppose 5 meter any object is moving in any direction, that can be taken as scalar quantity. But 5 meter moving in each direction or 5 meter moving in north direction, that can be taken as vector quantity. Got it? Example: length, mass, time, current, etc. Lot of examples. These are the scalar quantities. Okay, in this one, displacement, velocity, acceleration, force, etc. These are the examples we can have the vector quantity. See, length we can measure from any direction. This direction, this direction, this direction. Length we can measure in any way. Mass, if anything we have to measure, if anything we have to measure, then it's not a certain that we have to measure in this direction. We can take the mass in this direction or in this direction or in this direction. Anywhere we can measure it. Okay. In the same way also, time every time changing their position, up, this side, and this side, and this side again. That means every moment the time it is going to change. That means direction it is going to change. So it can be also taken as the scalar quantity. But displacement is called the position changing from one point to another point in one direction. It's called displacement. Velocity is the rate of change of displacement, is known as velocity. And acceleration, the rate of change of velocity is known as acceleration. So that's why we can say these are the examples related to the vector quantity. Clear to all? Clear or not? Tell me. Vector quantity in which magnitude and direction both will be considered. Okay. And scalar quantity is that quantity in which only the magnitude is considered. Magnitude means its value. measurement. Measurement means suppose 10 meter, 10 ampere, 10, 2 hour, 1 hour. So that means 2 hour is the magnitude. Okay, but time every time changing, so it is taken as the scalar quantity. But if it is asking for 2 meter per second in each direction, that means velocity will be there. Or 5 meter in each direction, that means length or displacement done by the body 5 meter in each direction. If anyone is going to ask, listen, if anyone is going to ask, write the 5 meter definition in the terms of 5 meter what is that? Define 5 meters in the terms of scalar quantity and vector quantity. Okay, so if any object is traveling the distance of 5 meters in anywhere, wait, I'm going to explain. If any object is traveling 5 meters in any direction, that will be taken as scalar quantity. But if we are telling like that, the 5 meter of the distance traveled by the object, displacement done by the object 5 meter in each direction, so that can be taken as vector quantity. Scientifically, how you can define 5 meter in the terms of scalar and vector quantity. Clear to all? Any doubt to anyone in scalar and vector quantity? Because think that after that I'm going to explain how to differentiate it. Okay, now how you can differentiate between the scalar quantity and vector quantity? Just see. The scalar quantity this side, vector quantity this side. Scalar quantity, magnitude, but not direction. This one, magnitude and direction. Both will be considered. Okay, second one. It can be added by simple arithmetic mean, but this one cannot be possible. Cannot be possible. Okay, simply arithmetic means if you want to add 2 plus 2 plus 4 like that, so in this case it will be possible, but in this case it will be not possible, because in this one direction will be there. Third one, it cannot plot on the graph paper. Third one, it can easily plot. On the graph paper. Okay, these are the 3 differences between the scalar and vector quantity. Okay, in this one, we have to take magnitude and direction both. Magnitude only, direction will be not there. In this case, magnitude and direction both the things will be there. In this one, it can be simply added by simple arithmetic mean. But this one will be not possible. For this one, third one, in this one, it cannot plot on the graph paper, but this can be easily plot on the graph paper. Okay. Why? Listen, Deo Mishra has asked for the question that how it will plot on the graph paper. Since in this one, direction will be there. If direction will be there, then easily we'll be able to find that in which axis the body is in motion. But in this one, since there is no direction, so in which direction it will go? Like that curve will go, or this will, like that will go. If no direction, graph will be not possible. Direction will be there, graph will be possible. Simple funda to draw the graph like that. Okay, if direction it is there, easily you can draw the graph. If direction is not there, you can't draw the graph. Magnitude will be also always in positive. Okay, magnitude means we have to take the mod also. Now come to the next topic. Clear this one, or if anyone is having any type of doubt, you can clear your doubt. Now come to the next topic. How you can do it? Others, let me complete this one every time.
Sir, I have to ask the question. I have a doubt, sir. That we can write sir, this difference that scalar quantities are always represented by fundamental units and vector quantities are always represented by derived units.
Vector quantity always vector quantity.
Vector quantities are always represented by derived units.
No, don't write. Don't write this.
Sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Don't write the difference. Some is scalar quantity that can be also taken as the derived unit. Okay, so don't take this one. Now see, the next one is how can we find displacement? What the design? The measurement between 2 points is called distance. Okay, and that can be anywhere. Like suppose here to here. This will be if A, B, C. This will be distance. Okay, so the interval or the measurement between 2 points, and it will be anywhere. Okay, without direction. The measurement between, listen, the measurement between the first to second point. Okay, the measurement between 2 points is called distance. While how we can define displacement? The shortest length that can be measured is called displacement. This will be displacement. This will be displacement. Okay. Displacement will be always shortest distance. Shortest distance, we can't say shortest length. The shortest length is known as displacement. While if we are going to measure the length anywhere without direction, so it is called distance. Okay, clear to all? Displacement is a vector quantity because it is having the direction, and it's the shortest distance, not anywhere. Distance you can measure anywhere. This is a C. Here. This will be distance. Measure this one, 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 this one. That's why after enough, it can be added by simple arithmetic mean. Suppose here 1 meter, here 2 meter, here 3 meter, here 4 meter, here 5 meter, here 6 meter, here 7 meter, like that. So add this one. No direction. No direction. So that's why after like that, it can be added by simple arithmetic mean. But in case of displacement, it will be not possible. This one, you can't add simple arithmetic mean. Okay. Okay, now clear to all, and unit of both one will be meter or centimeter. Meter or centimeter. Okay, the unit of both one is meter, centimeter, millimeter, hectometer, anything you can say. Okay, now come to the next one. If anyone is having doubt, you can ask me. Uh, one object, sometimes the question is asked, कि, just give an example by which you can prove कि any object is in motion. Okay, any object is in motion, displacement is 0, but it is covering some distance. Mayank, doubt?
So what you have asked that only, what you are going to explain that only.
Your voice is not getting clear.
Sir, what you are going to explain that only I was having now.
What you are going to?
So what you are going to explain that term only I was.
I'm going to again repeat the question. If any object is in motion. Okay, I'm going to explain. If any object is in motion and displacement is 0. But it is covering some distance. Or is it possible? Is it possible that any object is having displacement is 0, but distance it will cover some distance? Okay, you can also ask the question like that. By an example, prove that the displacement will be 0 and it will cover some distance. So one example you can prove like that. If any object is moving on the circular path. Okay, if any object is moving on the circular path having some radius, then in this condition, just see, it is going to start from here, this one, here, again reaching here. That means after one rotation, it is reaching at the same point. The point from which the object started, at the same point it is reaching. That means how much distance it will cover for one revolution? 2 pi r. Circumference, formula for circumference, how much? Formula for circumference, what will be? Pi r. So that means if any object is in motion and moving onto the circular path, okay, and displacement means shortest distance, shortest length. So the place at which it has started, if it is reaching at the same point, that means displacement has done nothing, 0. Okay, if any object, suppose 10 rounds you are taking and reaching at the same place, displacement will be 0. Okay, but talking about the distance, so distance will be 2 pi r into 10. Okay, got it. If any object is starting from one point and reaching at the same point. Okay, if any object is starting from any point and reaching at the same point, that means displacement will be 0. But since it is moving onto the circular path, okay, since it is moving onto the circular path, so there will be circumference also, and circumference is 2 pi r. So if the circumference is 2 pi r, that means this will be the distance. This can be taken as distance. So distance will be 2 pi r, but displacement will be 0. So you have to simply write like that. If yes, it will be possible that if any object is moving on a circular path, the displacement will be 0, but distance will be, it will cover some distance. How? So if any object is moving on the circular path, then in this condition, since it is object is starting from one point A and reaching again at the same point, that means this displacement is 0, while since it is having radius r and it is moving to the circular path, so after one revolution, it will be the distance covered by the object will be 2 pi r. Clear to all? Clear to all? Okay, now come to the next topic. Clear? If having doubt, you can ask me. Because all the things is very easy, things are there. Then come to the speed. Speed. The rate of change of distance. The rate of change of distance is known as speed. Speed equals to it's a scalar quantity. It's a scalar quantity. Okay, so are going to explain Ahmad Raja? I'm going to explain difference between uniform. Don't be in hurry. I will explain each and every topic. Don't ask to make what is the difference between uniform velocity and non-uniform velocity. Right now, let me explain one by one. And tomorrow, reminder to each and every one. Tomorrow, I will take the extra class also. Along with the regular class, I will take the extra class also after 1 o'clock, 1:10. 1 o'clock, your class is going to over. 1 o'clock, your class is going to over. So after 1 o'clock, 1:10, from 1:10 to 2 o'clock, I will take the class. Same thing also I will done on Wednesday also. Just keep in your mind. I will send the message also through that class, to your class teacher. You will get the message that I will take the extra class. Now, speed equal to distance upon time. The rate of change of distance. The rate of change of distance is known as speed. Okay, clear to all? The rate of change of distance is known as speed, or the distance traveled in unit second in any direction. This thing also you can say. Okay, the rate of change of distance. The rate of change of distance is known as speed, or in 1 second, whatever the distance done by the body, okay, is known as speed. Both you can say. Okay, the rate of change of distance is known as speed, or whatever the distance traveled in any direction in 1 second is called speed. Okay. Today there will be no any extra class. Today I will not take the extra class. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow. And if suppose it is not going to complete the revision, if suppose the revision it is not going to complete, then Thursday also I will take the class. If revision it is not going to complete, because firstly let me complete this one. It's a very easy topics are there. Is speed any doubt to anyone? It is a scalar quantity and its unit is meter per second. Unit is meter per second. Clear? Now come to the uniform speed. If any object, any body is uniform speed, just see what you are asking for. Speed can be denoted by v. V equal to d by t. Tension over. Okay, v equal to d by t. Uniform speed, just see. If any object covers equal distances in equal interval of time, then it is said to be the body will be in uniform speed. If any object, any body is in motion and it travels equal distances in equal interval of time, then we can say the body will be in uniform speed. Or such type of speed is known as uniform speed. If any object, suppose per second, moving with Distance covering is 10 meter. Second, 20. Third second, 30. Fourth second, 40 meter. These are the consistency the body will be in uniform speed. So if any object covers equal distance in equal interval of time, then it is called uniform speed. Okay, clear? Clear to all? Yes. Now come to non-uniform speed or variable speed. Variable speed. Variable speed or non-uniform speed, both you can say. Okay, so if any time, if any object is changing their position and or in motion and covers unequal distance in equal interval of time. Okay, if any object, any body is in motion and it's covering unequal distance in equal interval of time, just like first second 20 meter, second 50 meter, third second 70 meter, fourth second 80 meter, fifth second 110 meter. Just see, uniformity is not maintained. Okay, so if any object covers unequal distance in equal interval of time, then we can say the body is moving with a variable speed. Okay, or such sort of speed is known as variable speed or non-uniform speed. So if any object, any body covers unequal distance in equal interval of time, already example given to you, right? You can also write this example. This example is a perfect explanation for that. Okay, so if any object is in motion and it covers unequal distance in equal interval of time, then we can say this thing, the body will be in variable speed. The body is moving with the variable speed. Clear? Now, come to the next one. Instantaneous speed or average speed, firstly. The ratio of the total distance traveled, average speed. The ratio of total distance traveled upon total time taken. Okay, the ratio of total distance traveled during the journey upon total time taken during the journey is called average speed. Got it? Got it? Total distance traveled means suppose first second it is moving with the travel the distance of 50 meters, second 80 meter, third second it doesn't matter if it is moving with a uniform or non-uniform speed. Okay, again confirm this one. The ratio of the total distance traveled to total time taken is known as average speed. It doesn't matter if the body is moving with a uniform speed or variable speed or non-uniform speed. Okay, clear? What? So if that ratio of the total distance traveled to total time taken is known as average speed, it doesn't matter the body is moving with a uniform speed or non-uniform speed. Okay, simply you have to write like that. The body is the ratio of the total distance traveled upon total time taken. Himesh. Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, that ununiform speed will say that if a body covers equal distance in, sir.
Non-uniform, na ununiform. Where is the word? This ununiform is not a word.
Sir, non-uniform, non-uniform.
Listen. Non-uniform or variable. Don't say ununiform. Ununiform is not a word. Just ask.
Yes, sir. Sir, that what? Sir, variable speed. If we say that the body covers equal distance in unequal time, it will be there.
Unequal distance in equal interval of time.
Sir, if we say equal distance in unequal interval of time.
No, not possible.
Sir, how?
Okay. Completely opposite thing. It is given unequal distance in equal interval time. Time it is not going to consider. In this one you have to consider that how much distance it is traveling. Just see the definition of a speed. What is the definition of a speed?
Sir, the distance traveled in per unit, that per unit time. Yes, sir.
Yes, the distance traveled in per unit time. Unit you are making as a constant. Unit means it will be, if it is going to change also. So unit by unit it will change. Not all of a sudden you are going to change the time. What is the definition of speed? The distance between the distance traveled in 1 second, or the rate of change of distance. Rate of change of distance. That means rate will be constant. That means time will be constant. So time constantly will be changed. What distance? Anywhere you can take it. It may be uniform or non-uniform. Clear, Himesh? Don't write the reverse definition. Otherwise, it's completely wrong. Okay. Now, so the total distance, the ratio of the total distance traveled to total time taken is known as average speed. Okay. Unit will be the same one, meter per second. Okay. Now, come to the next topic. Last one. After that, tomorrow I will explain. Instantaneous speed. If any object, any body is in motion, okay, if any object, any body is in motion, okay, or every time it is changing the speed, then at any, during the motion time, at any particular instant, means suppose first second 20 meter, second 60 meter, third second 90 meter, fourth second 110 meter, fifth second 150 meter, suppose like that. The body every second it is changing like that. First second distance travel 20 meter, second 60 meter, third second 90 meter, fourth second 110 meter, fifth second 150 meter. Okay, so suppose it is asking for what will be the at fourth second, what will be their speed? Okay, so just see, just after the third, fourth will come. Okay, that means fourth second it will be instantaneous. That means on that particular instant, how much speed will be there? Just see here third and here fourth. So on this fourth second, what will be their instantaneous speed? Just see the difference. This is 90 and this is 110. So difference between both 20 by 1. What will be? 20 meters per second. That will be instantaneous speed. Clear? Just see, it is not, example is not given in your book, but try to understand this one. Is suppose if any body is changing their position with respect to time, or if any body is in motion. Okay, and during the motion time, at any particular instant means just immediately after that, the third second, fourth second is going to start. So at any particular instant, whatever its speed, that will be called instantaneous speed. Speedometer, you can take the example, no problem. The speedometer also you can take, aeroplane also you can take the example, because aeroplane is also sometimes going to change the speed. Okay, anything you can say that if gear, the bike gear every time you are changing. First gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, and right now sixth gear is also there. Okay, so if every second once you are changing the gear, its speed will increase, distance will increase, that means speed will also increase. Okay, are you getting all of you? Any doubt to anyone? Okay, thank you. Now, so that means if any object is changing their position, okay, if any object is changing or in motion, and then at any particular instant, whatever its speed is called instantaneous speed. The rest of the things tomorrow I'll explain, and do one thing, whatever I'm just going to explain, because each and everything I'm explaining properly. Okay, I will also do the revision, and if suppose revision will be not possible, so I will take the extra class. But tomorrow extra class will be there. So those who are not taking the class right now today also, so just convey the message. Sir will take the extra class tomorrow. Along with the regular class, I will take the extra class. Third period is my period, I think so. Yes, third period, huh? Tomorrow Tuesday, third period, nah? So along with the third period, after 1 o'clock, I will take the extra class. That means just after 1:10 I will start. 1 o'clock your class will be over. So from 1:10 to 2 o'clock I will take the class. Okay. Thank you to all of you, and try to solve some numerical related to this one, because on 2 or 3 exam practice problem it is also given in this particular unit. Okay. So I'm going to end the session. Any doubt to anyone? Okay. Okay, thank you to all of you.